Hey guys, this is Tank. You're watching Tank's Bricks. I'm a procrastinator. I'm a day late, but hey, I've been doing pretty good so far. Please forgive me. As promised, I have our comparison video for 2002's Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter from when Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones came out. And then we have 2022's Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, released August 2nd of this year. So let's get into it. Okay, so up first is the 2002 Obi-Wan Kenobi from the 2002 set. He is pretty basic compared to the other one, but given the time, that is forgivable. He is in your basic Lego minifigure yellow because before 2002 they did not have flesh tones. I believe that came out in 2004. His lightsaber hilt is the classic chrome. Not going to focus on that, of course. It's going to focus on his face. This particular one is in pretty dang good condition. I think there's one nick on it somewhere. Oh, right in front. I don't know if it's going to pick it up on the camera. But old chrome pieces, the knives, lightsaber hilts, spears, all that good stuff from the 90s had the habit of peeling and looking pretty garbage afterwards. So this one, not bad. Lightsaber itself, the tube for it is the classic clear blue they used for years. I don't know exactly when they changed over, but you'll see with the other minifigure that it's definitely different now. Hairpiece is classic long hair they did back then. Just about everyone had that if they had long hair. 2005 Anakin Skywalker for Revenge of the Sith did. Yeah, they liked that piece back then, I think. Almost forgot to mention the row printing. Only on the chest. There's no leg printing, no arm printing, no back printing, no nothing, no second face, none of that. None of that existed back then. Well, scratch that. Sometimes some figures had leg printing, like Castle and all that, but for Star Wars, I don't remember that ever being a thing. So you got the basic hand Jedi robes they did to go along with basic yellow skin, and legs, just solid tan. Like I said, no printing. I freaking lost the new Obi-Wan down in a hole. There we go. Let's try this again. So, the new Obi-Wan 2022. This looks a lot more accurate to the movie. Obviously, better technology 20 years later than there was back in 2002. Face, flesh tone, hands, flesh tone. There's a little bit poking out in his robes there. His face is double-sided. I will take a picture of it real quick and put a B-roll over the top of this. You can see other side face has the heads out, which this one does not. Hairpiece is new. Not sure if anyone else has it or not, but this guy does. It also came with a hood piece, so you can take the hairpiece off, put the hood on, because the scene that this Starfighter is based off of is the Camino scene. So during that, Camino is just in torrential downpour, so he's mostly hooded while he's outside, totally soaked. It's great. To reflect that, printed on the figure is those robes, unlike the other one in 2002. And this is reflected also in the Rise of Skywalker video game. I believe it's like Camino Obi-Wan is what this skin is. I like this. This is awesome. The detailing in this is awesome. Let's move on to his lightsaber. This is the newer, like semi-chrome silver handle that they had. It's like third rendition of a lightsaber. They had like a basic gray that came after the chrome that 2002 Obi-Wan's had. This is probably my favorite. As much as I'm a nostalgia nerd, I like this one the best. Hopefully it won't flake as much as the chrome does, but we'll see. Time will tell. And then you got the new lightsaber post. It's more of like a foggy blue. It's transparent. You can kind of see the shadow of baseplate behind it, but it's not clear transparent. It's foggy. It's pretty cool. Give me a sec. Yeah, much better. Alright, so those were the figures. Let's move on to the sets themselves, the ships. I know I didn't highlight the extra minifigures that come in the 2002 version. Those were in the review, the video previous to this for the 2002 Jedi Starfighter, and I will just link that in the description, so that way I don't repeat myself in the same video twice, and you know. Let's move on. Okay, so here you have the build. On the left, 2002 Jedi Starfighter. On the right, you have the 2022 Jedi Starfighter. As you can tell, there's some definite differences between the two. 2002 is a very simple time compared to complex builds of modern age. Please forgive the shadow, I am working on different lighting. Let's look at the old one first. I luck out to get a pretty good deal on one on eBay. The white hasn't gone a faded yellow. Let's just take a quick look around so you can kind of get an idea what's going on. Again, please forgive the shadow. And now let's look at the new. Let's take that quick look around just like the first one. Alright, let's take a look at the back ends first. Again, left is 2002, right is 2022. Left side, 2022. Landing gear and engines are all the same thing. By the same thing, I mean the engines are just tire pieces hooked onto the landing gear feet. Now let's go over to 2022, and as you can see, there's only one little thing for landing gear in the back, and the engines are completely two separate entities from each other and the landing gear. Tail fin in the back of the 2022 is made out of a flag piece that's printed on both sides, and then these two snap-on slope pieces. Tail fin on the 2022 is a lot more complex than that. Don't really know how else more to describe it other than it's a lot more pieces to build and more detailed. Now let's look at the windshields for the two ships. 2002's is a simple tinted slope piece that they also used for the Republic gunship of the same year. No hinges, it just clicks on and off. 2022's is a newer bubble piece. It has been around, but it's newer than 2002's. And instead, this time it's not tinted, it's clear, but it hinges back and forth. 2002's cockpit is very simple with just the one 1x2 printed computer piece there and the sloped bar piece for a chair. 2022's has a much better cockpit. They've got the sloped computer piece on the inside there and actual build to resemble a chair with this little 1x1 little doohickey there for a headrest. Now we move on to the wings. 2002's is a very simple build, mirrored on both sides, whereas the only differences between the two is on the right for you have a very basic R4 that was just, at the time, R2-D2 printed with red detailing instead of blue, and then a printed Republic insignia. You also have these flaggy flaps and an attempt to do the slope behind the wing. 2022's wing setup was a little more complex. First off, it's a lot more slender. You have a removable satellite dish piece, and R4's head is a much more unique print. Also, each wing has a working stud shooter. These are newer stud shooters from the last couple of years. I don't remember exactly when they came out. The Republic insignia on the left wing of 2022's model is just a sticker. It's not a print. And they did a much better angle here for the slope on the wing. Now let's look in front of the cockpit area. 2002's is made up of two giant slope pieces here, left and right, mirror to each other. They are printed, not stickered. The overall slope that this builds, in my opinion, makes it look a lot more realistic to the movie. 2022's is a little bit more of a harsh upward slope. Some of the pinstriping is the exact same as the 2002 model. However, it loses some of that extra gray detailing that was in the 2002 model. That front slope piece is removable to put R4's body in for storage. I highlighted this opinion of mine in the last video, however, I'm going to say it again. I think this whole slope thing was to keep it look uniform to the other Clone Wars era Starfighters that LEGO has built. Also want to point out that the gold pinstriping on the front end of these ships are definitely different as far as position goes. 2002's is more closer to the center of the ship and it's a lot shorter. 2022's is a sticker and it's more towards the front and it stretches out a lot longer. There's one thing similar these two builds have, and that's how the wings meet to the front end. I'm going to start by showing it on the 2022 version this time because the pieces are light, but the wing is angled and then it meets the straight flat angled piece here. For both ships, the wings are sloped at an angle whereas the nose is straight. This causes this kind of thing to happen where the wings should be angled all the way through but they're not. If you haven't figured it out by just looking at it, I'm talking about how the slope ends suddenly and then it's straight angled pieces to finish off the cone. 2002's is a little harder to see, but it is the same. Although I will mention the gaps on the wings in general are a lot better on the 2002 than on the 2022. At the end of the day, I think both ships are a pretty good value. 2022's Jedi Starfighter goes for about $29.99 US and is sold wherever Legos are sold. There is no exclusivity. 2002's is far beyond retired at this point, being 20 years old. You can find them on eBay or Bricklink though. I got mine on eBay for about $90 used and 100% complete. So there you have it, folks. You got 2002's Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter and you got 2022's Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter. Differences, similarities, all in the books. Next time for Star Wars, what we're going to do is the 2022 Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader duel. I may have butchered the name there, but I'll show a picture of it around here, hopefully, if my editing software lets me. Until next time, folks, goodbye!